Claire Phoenix at the Food Ingredient Conference called Advances in Natural Colour. I'm here with Dr. Cathy Culver. She's a Senior Principal Scientist with PepsiCo Global R&D. Cathy, can you tell me what advice you'd give to beverage manufacturers who are regarding new product development, who are planning a new drink?
I think the most important factors to consider when using naturally derived colors, first of all, is regulatory compliance, and second is cost. No one wants to sell products at a loss. So those are the two major hurdles before product development begins.
And what about things being way too expensive in certain markets and then not in others? Is that what happens?
Yes. In general, there are premium markets like Japan, South Korea, and Europe, where consumers are used to paying a higher price and are willing and able to pay a higher price for naturally colored products. We look at other markets like China and India. There's less room for a cost upcharge, so value products are more important in these markets.
And what about stability of natural products?
This is a really technically challenging problem for the food industry, and particularly for beverages. Most beverages are high-acid aqueous systems, and this is a really tough challenge for stability of natural colors.
And I was interested in your phrase, not all emulsions play nice in the same space. Can you explain that?
When you look at emulsion stability, there's a couple of factors to consider. One is the difference in the density of the oil phase versus the density of the aqueous phase. So you have to, and you also want to look at particle size. So when you mix oil phases, you might wind up changing the density of the oil phases. Some ingredients simply are not compatible in the same space. So when you formulate an emulsion, usually you're targeting using a weighting agent. You want to adjust the density of the oil phase. So by putting these ingredients together, you may have something that's not compatible.
And you were talking also about beta-carotene. It's a great product, but what about the problems you get, like foaming and ringing?
Knowledge is power. If you use carotenoids correctly, we use them in a wide variety of our products, so it's not impossible to use them, but it is not possible to use them in ignorance. You need knowledge, you need to know how to handle them, and also you have to manage expectations about this. That for a product like this, over time you may see a small amount of phase separation. This is normal, this is typical, and it's not a problem for a lot of consumers. But once again, manage expectations with your marketing group.
I thought it was interesting when you said that shelf life, sometimes it's just not going to be as long as you'd hope. You have to be honest and say, actually, it's going to last 6 months, not a year. Is that right?
Correct. Absolutely.
What has been the most exciting development at the bench that you've seen in the last year? Is it nanotechnology? Is it working with emulsifiers? What is it?
Well, I think what I want, which is what everyone else in the industry wants, is more blues, naturally derived blues. And there's some new ingredients coming out that are sort of chipping away at the edges. I think these are really exciting ingredients, and I look forward to seeing these in our products.
Can you just let me know a little bit more? So it's not geranium, it's gardenia, yeah?
Right, and the gardenia color is extracted from a fruit that's about the size of your thumb, maybe a little bit smaller. And these fruits are rich in carotenoids and in iridoid pigments.
And that gives the blue.
Right, so iridoids by themselves are not blue. They have to be reacted with a primary amine like an amino acid. So there's an enzymatic step involved. Oxygen is also involved. So by picking the fruit at different points of maturity, you can select whether you get gardenia yellow, which is carotenoids, or you get the iridoids, which will lead to the blue.
And this is your background in enzymes, that means you can work with this.
Well, no, I let my suppliers take care of that.
Oh, great. Okay,
There's a lot of patented technology around that.
Is there?
Oh, yes.
So you're saying it's about color selection?
Yes. A good example is the Gatorade line of beverages that we own. And when I was working in product development about 10 years ago, at that time we had approximately 200 different flavors of Gatorade, each with its own color. So in a perfect world, I would have naturally derived color choices to replace all of the synthetic colors in that product line. And as of today, I can't do that. I don't have a green. I don't have a blue. It's also difficult to get deep purples because I don't have a blue.
Interesting. What about the Fit Pro and Recover range? Is that natural?
So it depends on the market. It depends on the market. In some cases, they're leaving out color altogether. In other cases, they're using synthetic colors. In some product lines, they're using naturally derived colors. So it depends a little bit on the market.
So is it very much down to the retailer whether they're demanding natural?
It's not so much the retailer, but the region. Obviously, if we're selling products in the European Union, we're conforming to EU rules. Okay. It also depends on the product positioning. Is it a premium product? Is it a value product?
Yeah, so you said 10 times more cost.
That's a lot of cost.
Yes, I was surprised. And you said people have got to be prepared to pay that if they want natural.
Right. And so the real reason I give that number to product developers is to help them prioritize their work. There's no point in getting a supplier to send color samples if you know you can't hit your cost targets. Why would you spend time prototyping at the bench or doing stability testing on something that you'll never be able to afford to sell?
What sort of drink have you seen that just can't go forward for reasons like that? That you thought that was interesting, but it's just too costly?
I would say in a lot of our markets where we're looking for more value products, Mexico, China, India, these are countries where it's really difficult to formulate a beverage to reach those cost targets because the consumer is looking for value. I'm not saying that we have no products in those markets that are naturally colored. It just means that we have to price it appropriately.
Thanks for downloading this FoodBev.com podcast. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Vimeo, Google+, and LinkedIn.